It's 6 o'clock, so we'll call our meeting to order. Are there any additions or corrections, deletions to the agenda for the evening? We do have one additional item, I believe, added, and an additional hearing for item C. It'll be C2, I believe. So with that, we entertain a motion to agenda as amended.
So moved.
Support.
In favor with a thumbs up and an aye.
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 Opposed would be a thumbs down and an A, if you would please. Looks like that motion is carried. Did you get that vote, Sarah?
I did. Thank you.
Good. All right, great. Thank you. And roll call. And I believe we need to set where your location is. So
Thank you. Mayor, will you start for me, please?
present in Elma, Michigan.
Thank you. Vice Mayor Harrington,
Present in Elma, Michigan.
Commissioner Allman,
Present in Alma, Michigan.
Commissioner Piccolo,
Present, Storm Lake, Iowa.
Commissioner Pitts,
Present in Elma, Michigan.
Commissioner Stahl,
Present in Elma, Michigan.
and Commissioner Wernick.
Present in Elma, Michigan.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Sarah. Thank you, everybody. So next on the list is the Pledge of Allegiance. Aaron, do you have a flag you can put up for us? Would you please rise and join me in the recitation of the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of
Of the
America
United States,
and to the republic for which it
it stands,
one nation,
one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. So help me God.
Okay, thank you very much. Next up, we'd entertain a motion for the approval of the minutes for the January 26, 2021 regular meeting and the February 2nd, 2021 leadership planning session.
Move approval as amended.
I think we got to get the corrections first.
Oh,
Oh, we did that beforehand. Okay.
Well, our packet doesn't contain the corrections, so I think we need to highlight them here.
Under approval of minutes, I have motion by Vice Mayor Harrington, seconded by Commissioner Piccolo, and that should be corrected to read motion by Commissioner Allman, seconded by Commissioner Pitts.
That was for the regular meeting.
That was for the regular meeting. Yes, thank you.
So did the correction or your motion then cover that correction? Nick, I believe it did, but
Yeah, as amended, I think I said. Yeah.
all right, very good. And did you get the motion support, Sarah?
I don't have a second.
I did.
Thank you.
You have support. Are there any other corrections or deletions? Okay, hearing none. Those in favor, thumbs up with an aye.
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 Those opposed? The motion is carried. Thank you. No petitions, no communication hearings. The first up, we need to hold a public hearing at 6 o'clock or as soon thereafter as the agenda will allow to consider a request from Gemini Capital Management LLC to establish an obsolete property rehabilitation district for the parcel at 220 East Superior Street. So we'll take a motion to open the hearing.
So moved.
Support.
We have motion support. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, the hearing is opened. I see Ryan is with us tonight. Mr. Smith, welcome. And
Hello.
Eric, are you going to take the lead on this?
Yes, I can start off and then Ryan can jump in and talk a little bit more about the project. But just like we've done multiple OPRA districts. This is at 220 East Superior Street, formerly the Plaid Door location downtown. Tonight we're setting the district for the OPRA. There'll be a second phase of this when Gemini is ready for the project to move forward. We'll be back with an application that actually gets approved by the City Commission and then sent in the State Tax Commission for their approval. The obsolete rehabilitation district we use to assist developers with the rehab of the commercial spaces in the downtown area. This particular one is looking at a office rehab on the first floor. The Oprah is good for up to 12 years, and that's up to the city commission, but that's the maximum it can be provided for. It's useful because basically what you would do is you freeze the assessed value of the property when you set the district. When you freeze that taxable value, it provides an incentive for the developer to make significant improvements without significantly increasing the property taxes on the building. So they'll continue to pay taxes on the building, but not on all the increase in the value from the improvement. Now, there's some things that we cannot exempt, which, school tax credit, bonds, those sort of things cannot be exempted from that. Also in your packet is a draft resolution for approval. The structure is functionally obsolete under the definition of that the electrical, mechanical, and plumbing systems are inadequate for the highest and best use for the property. And then also the layout is not accessible for barrier free. And the interior and exterior of the building needs to undergo extensive renovation to accommodate this new business, and in the future, maybe some residential. So, like I said, what we've been doing with these is each time we get a building come in, we create a district specifically for that structure. And then after this, when the developer's ready, we'll come back to city commission with the application to hear that and actually the details of the project. But Ryan has provided some details already for this particular office project right now. So I'll take any questions and turn it back to the commission.
Okay, here's the first question. I'm hearing none, but I will say, the plans look really good. It looks like a nice project, and we appreciate the investment in our city again, Ryan. Thank you.
Yep, happy to. Glad to have 2 new businesses down there.
Anything else you want to add?
No, we're just doing just a rehab on the commercial first floor right now. Nothing upstairs for the time being. So pretty simple.
Does anybody else have anything? No comments? We'll entertain a motion to close the public hearing then.
So moved.
Did you call for public comments, Mayor?
Oh, no, I apologize. I did not. Is there any members of the public who would like to comment or have a question?
Greg, we did not receive any phone calls, emails, or letters regarding the property. We do send out public notices to all property owners within 300 feet, and also publish the notice in the paper too. We have not received any comments.
Great. Is there anyone from the public that has indicated a willingness or a desire to talk?
Mr. Smith appears to be the only member of the public currently present.
Okay, just wanted to make sure.
Mm-hmm.
So with that, we will entertain the motion to close the public hearing.
So moved.
Support.
Support by Mr. Piccolo and Allman. Those in favor, thumbs up, please.
Aye.
Aye.
Aye, yes. Okay, any opposed? Okay, the motion is passed. Thank you.
As always, appreciate all the help.
Yes, well, thank you, Ryan. Again, we appreciate the investment in our town.
Okay, talk to you guys later.
All right, take care.
Aye.
So under hearings number 2, C2, which is the amendment to the agenda, we need to set a public hearing for Tuesday, February 23rd, 2021 at 6 p.m. or as soon thereafter as the agenda will allow, to consider a request from 123 Net Incorporated to convert their unilateral permit, which will expire on June 14th, 2021, to a bilateral Metro Act permit under the Metro Act provisions. We have anyone would like to set the hearing?
Support.
Any comments or questions?
I read through this about 4 times. I have no idea what we're talking about.
Just to give you an idea, these are for the public utilities, of which 123.net has a line in an easement that was granted in 2016. The unilateral permit is a 5-year permit. Is our understanding that the bilateral permit then is a 30-year with a 15-year auto and then a 15-year renewal. And so industry-wide, we're probably going to see a few more of these because there is a change now to a lot of people requesting to go to that. It saves this from coming back and all of that stuff. To my knowledge, as we look at what was done in 2016, there was one simple connection to that 123.net. I'd never heard of it either in our area, but there was only one connection, whether it still exists. And it looks like they're just cleaning up all of their permits and things that are out there.
Is it cable? Is it cable?
Internet, it's
Yeah.
internet cable. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
That's
Okay. Thank you.
But it's not fiber. Or is it fiber?
No.
It is not.
So if a company does this for 30 years, the company goes away, as they sometimes do, can they sell that permit, or does it dissolve and they have to, whoever takes over has to get a new one?
Nick, I'm not 100% sure, but from what I read and what you see with everything with the MPSC, Michigan Public Service Commission, it appears because of the way they have to renew that these permits aren't transferable to another company. I believe we're going to have one with Cass Air and some of the changes that they've went through with just a name change too. So we know those will be coming through that we'll have to deal with, although that won't require a hearing to do that.
Thank you, Matt.
Thank you.
We had a motion and support. All those in favor, set the hearing. Aye.
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 The hearing has been set. Flip back to, whoops. Okay, moving down to F, recommendation on bids. We need to consider a resolution approving the receipt and award of bids for sludge removal and disposal for the wastewater treatment plant. And we have a list of bids that were received on February 21, 2021. The low bid coming from Michigan Agribusiness Solutions of Saginaw, Michigan at $143,000. And then they go all the way up to a high bid of $190,800. So the recommended bid is, of course, the low one. What is your pleasure?
Move to accept the recommended low bid.
Support.
Dave, Matt, Eric, anybody want to give us any? We know what the color is, I guess. So
This is the contract to haul out the sludge from the wastewater treatment plant. As the description implies, this is all the wasted product that we no longer have use for. This gets land applied to fields as to meet certain Eagle permit requirements before it can be land applied, and you have to have specialized haulers to do this. And I believe this is a 3-year contract. This also is for the removal of material out of the polishing ponds over there as well.
thank you, David. Does anyone have any more questions or comments?
Who have we previously used?
Oh, it was a company, it changed names, but it was NutriGrow. It used to be Synagrow, but they were the second lowest bid. But this is a new company, and we're kind of excited to work with somebody new on this one.
Other comments, questions? Okay, hearing none. All those in favor, give me a thumbs up.
Aye.
Opposed would be a thumbs down. Seeing none, the motion is passed. We have awarded the contract. Move down to G, consideration of a resolution authorizing the establishment of an obsolete property rehabilitation district for the parcel at 220 East Superior Street. Should sound familiar.
Move approval.
Support.
We have a motion and support. Is there any comments or questions again? Okay, hearing none. All those in favor, a thumbs up and an aye.
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 Negative. Seeing none, looks like the motion is passed. Thank you very much. Moving down to agreements. First up, we have consideration of a resolution approving the agreement regarding athletic facility use for the Euclid Street baseball fields between the City of Elma and the Elma Little League Parents Group, I think it is, commencing on April 1st, 2021 and ending August 1st, 2021. So I believe we've done this a number of years. What is your pleasure?
Move approval.
Okay, Sarah, did you get the motions?
Thank you.
Almost at the same time, so. Is there any additional news this year, Eric or Matt, Dave?
Just that the times that they provided here, those are, best case scenarios. They're hoping to hold that. Typically they hold between 2 and 3 tournaments at the fields each year. They're hopeful to do 2 this year. But yeah, like you said, this is a housekeeping thing we do each year with them. And it's worked well for us and for them. Let's hopefully they can play some ball this year. They did try to do a little bit last year with just come as you are type of activity, just to give them some workouts, that sort of thing, but no organized ball last year. So hopefully we can play some ball this year though.
Hope for the best for them. It's tough on the kids, they can't play. Anybody have any comments or questions? Hearing none, we'll go to the vote. All those in favor, thumbs up and an eye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Seeing none, the motion is carried. Thank you. The next item is consideration of a resolution to approve amendment number 1 to the 2020 agreement for Bituminous Chip Seal Coat and Highway Maintenance and Construction Company, extending the contract by 1 year pursuant to the Elma procurement policy, similar work bids provision, with the 2021 total being $37,275. Your pleasure.
Move approval.
Support.
We have a motion support. Dave, this looks like it's going to be yours.
Good guess. Yes, this is a continuation of the contract from last year, going under our procurement policy. We were satisfied with the work that they did last year, and we've got a list of 3 more streets to do for this upcoming year, and we'd like to continue that contract at their same bid amount that they gave us last year, and they were willing to honor that. So it saves us some time from going out for bid when they were the apparent low bidder last year as well.
What's the first question for Dave on this? Or Matt, I saw you come alive. Do you have comments?
The only thing I had was, I think this, as we've talked about this is a good use of this portion of the policy. Real good use, that if you have somebody that's worked well, they're willing to stick with that same number, that we don't have to go out again. And we were happy with that. I think this is a really good use of this. Saves us a lot of time and effort.
Price is stable from 1 year to the next. So.
Yeah.
That was a surprise, but it's a welcome surprise, especially with asphalt prices and emulsion numbers.
Anybody else? Seeing none, we'll move to the vote. All those in favor, thumbs up and an eye.
Aye.
Those opposed will be thumbs down. Seeing none of those, we'll assume the motion is carried. And now we'll move down to reports. Commissioners may receive the following reports by one resolution, or any commissioner may remove any item within this section for individual discussion and vote. And we have reports from the Elma Transit Center, the Zoning Board of Appeals, the Planning Commission, the Elma Downtown Development Authority, the Elma Police Department report, and the City Manager's February 5, 2021 report. So I think everything was January except for the City Managers, and the Planning Commission minutes was for February 1st. So the others were all January's. Your pleasure on receiving these.
Matt, would you like yours? Matt, would you like yours pulled out? You're muted.
Yes,
Okay. I move to pull the city commissioners or the city manager's report.
Roger, are you moving to approve all the rest?
Yes, by doing so, yes.
Nick, are you seconding?
I'm sorry.
Sure.
Thank you.
Did we get a second on that?
Yes.
We did. Okay, I'm sorry, I missed that. All right, so hearing no other wishes or desires to pull any other reports, those in favor of approving the remainder, thumbs up and an eye.
Aye.
Opposed would be a thumbs down. Seeing none, we've approved the rest of those reports. So any willingness to hear the city manager's report? We'll entertain a motion for that first, and then we'll have Matt give us the highlights.
Move approval.
Support. Move to hear, yeah, support.
Okay, we have a motion to support. Matt, do you want to give us
Sure.
the highlights?
We talked a little bit beforehand, but the plan still is for this Saturday night. And I know it's going to be a little chilly, but for the Baby It's Cold Outside event to take place downtown, we'll be moving things in there. So, and I think Greg, you kind of mentioned earlier, the businesses at this point, everybody's willing, and we haven't had this kind of cold in a couple of years, but of course it always hits that way. So the uniqueness of the event will be there, and maybe we'll talk about some other things going forward, but we're anxious to see and just to give some help, and if to the general public to get out and have some time out there. I just want to emphasize that this isn't an open carry situation where you can buy your alcohol and walk around drinking it. You got to buy it in the spot, take it as takeout, keep it capped until you get to the spot that's been closed, which will be designated then in the 300, 400 block of Woodworth. So we look forward to something. That's been a long time since we've had an event, it seems. So hopefully we can get through the cold and do that. The second thing, I just gave you that long report on towards fiscally healthy Michigan local governments. I thought it was really worthwhile for everyone. This is nothing that, especially those of you who've been on the commission for a while, this isn't new information you're receiving. I just think that the idea that came from an independent study that really clarified a lot of the issues that we've been having in Michigan and the structure problems that we've been having with our funding, kind of laid it out there again. I think it also reiterates the fact that the MML, and again, I haven't been doing this for very long, but it sure seems to me over the last couple of years is taking a much more active role in making sure that this information gets to everybody, and their lobbying resource has really picked up in order to try and make definitive changes as we go forward to the financing structure here in Michigan. So I think we'll continue to see things from the MML on that and anything that they can get, which leads me into the next thing of the CapCon conference, which they say it's March 16th and 17th. If you haven't gotten your email that verifies that you've been registered, please let Sarah know so we can make sure that happens. I know they're still working on the second half of that agenda from the morning. Really, it's the 16th. The 17th is more taken up by committee meetings and things like that. But I think there'll be some worthwhile, and I'm looking forward to what's going to come out for the afternoon, the secondary portion of that to do. We do have 5 other staff members too that are going to go. So we were able to get the one price for 13 of us, or 12, I'm sorry, because we weren't going to exclude the 13th person if they wanted to go, but it was nice to get the price for 12 of us. So we'll do that. And then I'm pleased to let you guys know that Kathy Roseland will be appointed to the State Tax Commission Assessor Discipline Advisory Committee on February 9th, which was today. So I'm assuming that has happened. When I wrote this, it hadn't happened. So we really didn't want to put it out there until they had formally done it. So Kathy, I'm assuming it happened. Good. All right. A thumbs up is good from that.
Congratulations, Kathy.
This actually came directly from David Buck, who had asked her. He is the executive director. And so really a good thing to see because of the work that she's done here in our county and trying to do things and taking on a role statewide. So congratulations and thank you very much for that. And we're proud of you to see you doing that. So second, we have some issues that I know have been talked about quite a while that Kathy's brought up, and it's about the postcard assessment notices. So I'm going to try and give you, as opposed, I kind of sent them out to you, but one of the reasons we could save, Kathy, you sent it to me today, was it would have saved us if we were able to do the postcards, which really make a lot of sense. $470, is that about in that neighbor, 428, something like that?
428.
428, it was saved us. But in reality, you're looking at, if you can see, I mean, there's an awful lot of information that goes on these postcards. And I think some of the issues, as Kathy had some discussion about this, is that number one, the State Tax Commission isn't saying, yeah, we wholly endorse this for everybody to do that, because here's what we're looking at then with someone being able to read a full sheet. There's just some issues that could come up. And I think that Kathy was being progressive in wanting to see this. And I know she's brought this to you in the past and talked about it. She was all set and ready to go with it. But I think some of those things that she had talked on here is that, the print's really small. Could we get some ADA issues out of this? And I think so really at this time, what we'll do is we'll make sure to keep this in the hands of the State Tax Commission. Assumption, Kathy, that at some point this is going to become most likely real, but it may just be in some formats that's a little more readable and easier to use.
I think we could try it with tax bills. The city of Midland actually did it with tax bills because there's less information that goes on tax bills.
So much easier to manage, much easier to do, makes a lot of sense. But those points that she had about what could be missed on there in such small print, ADA issues that we all know could become an issue. You'd never think it would, but it could, and it could send us to tribunal or something over some issues that we probably didn't need to. So we'll continue to look at that maybe for the tax billing and some things like that. So thanks for that, Kathy. Appreciate it. I kind of got into the priority discussion. We're going to do that in a little bit just to make sure where we're at on that. But some interesting information about the broadband build out. As you know, this has been it's one of the bigger areas, and it's actually a piece of our priority list of how do we get there. Strange enough, just 2 weeks ago, we were having a discussion. If any of you remember Bill Gilbert from here, Bill had a business here, and actually Bill has a company that does fiber build out and is in charge of a lot of the installation. So we've been leaning on him to ask some questions. We had some things set up with the Cass Air company, who has a presence here in this community. I think we've talked about it before, that 2009, Eric, 2010 in that area, I believe, that they received some federal funding under the funding at that time. They were able to lay a lot of conduit here in the city and started a backbone. We really didn't hear from them for a number of years until, which we did earlier tonight, another Metro Act. Last year, if you remember, we passed a Metro Act retroactively because they hadn't done that at that time. So there is a backbone there. We actually had tried to set up with them to get something into the Opera House while we had some of the openings down there. COVID hit. They went dark. All of a sudden, we weren't hearing from them and wondered what was going on. As luck would have it, shortly after that discussion we had with Bill Gilbert of talking about who are the players in this field, Aaron receives a message from the gentleman from Cass Air that we were dealing with. They've been bought out now by this, it's called Point Blank or Point Broadband. And their intent is for Alma to be a major project for this year to do the build out, to really start to work for the build out with the fiber. And once we got down from the ceiling, because we were really excited, because this is something we've been talking about a lot, we really came to some realities, though, that we want to have much more say in this time. We had a meeting last Friday, I believe, with the gentleman. And one of the things that he assured us is that they would be bringing some of the technical folks back to us here within the next 10 days to 14 days to talk about what that would look like. Because to be quite frank, during the last laying of the conduit in some of the backbone areas, we ended up, unbeknownst to us until later times, running into some pretty major issues with some of the stuff underground. There hadn't been a real good planning process during that. The fact that they've been bought out by a larger company, we are hopeful to then, we're going to really push the idea that we have to be a part of, David needs to be a part of the discussions. We need to be knowing where they're going to be digging, what they're doing in order to do this. So we are excited, though, to see, because this would be a difference maker for us to start to get that fiber build out into people's houses and to the businesses. So we asked about, we were so excited, we started asking about pricing and all these other things the other day, and they weren't ready for all that information. But ironically, just yesterday, I shared this with a couple people. I went home for lunch, and as I got up, I looked, and there was a Point Broadband vehicle in front of my house, and they were doing some charting and doing some different things out there. So that's a good sign that maybe this is definitely going to be something we're gonna see start to occur. I'm not as optimistic as they are that this build out will all happen by the end of the year. This is going to have to be phased in and planned. And so we want to make sure that we're a big part of that planning process as we go forward. And we were assured that will be the issue. I think we'll know also, because we asked for someone to get back with us from the technical aspect. And if we hear from them in that next 10 days to 2 weeks, then I think we know that there's some serious things being looked at, which will be a real advantage. Big Rapids and Greenville are the other two areas they were looking at. Roger?
Matt, could this be a startup for one of the things we were talking about on our planning is internet, citywide internet kind of thing. Would this go toward that? Could that be sort of thing?
Yeah, what they will bring to the table, and it's interesting because what has happened, it appears, is and we keep hearing about the fiber build out in the country and how important it is to get it to different areas. What's happened is smaller areas that work with electric co-ops and things like that, because you got to have somebody who's going to either hang the line, run the line, allow the line to go through theirs. Consumers and some of the big players are not interested in that. They are just not interested in doing that. So you'll find, example, you get up north in some small areas. I know Benzie County is one. Must be by Torch Lake because I talked to somebody who's there who got a notice. And so what they will do is these electric co-ops will get involved in this to lay the line, and they become a real big resource. We have trouble finding that resource. We're in that in-between stage of finding someone who will commit to it. This with not Cass Air now, but Point Broadband would be the backbone is here. There is an awful lot of conduit already laid. It'd be filling that conduit, and now you start to go down the streets, which then gives you the availability into individual residences or businesses. So, and obviously we would play a big part in helping them promote this in our community, making sure that people know about it, making sure that people want to be involved in it. So.
Matt, you had a team for Alma Inspires that was looking into this too. If you invited those players, make sure they're on board with and get a voice in while this is being planned.
Yeah, Jim is actually, we had Jim Wheeler, who's the one heading that portion up, was actually in our meeting on Friday to do that. And we have a meeting in the morning where we'll get that back out to everybody so that there's a known that this is here. Again, I temper it, and I don't want to temper it because this could be a game changer for us. This could be that thing we've really been looking for that puts us in the middle of the state, that kind of sets us out there. So the next 2 weeks I think are critical. If we get that call back and we start to see some of that, then I think we can get much more involved in that planning process.
Yeah, just make sure that the hospital, the college, the school systems, everybody's getting their needs met as well in this plan while it's still on paper.
And they've had talk. We do know that they've broached some of that with them also, because that's those bigger customers too are ones that are helpful for them. So that's good news. Hopefully, again, after the excitement level first was really high, and then it was like, okay, wait a minute, and we don't want to go through some of the things that happened here, 10, 12 years ago, which is good. We have that backbone, but we can't have it at the expense of water lines and things like that. Which Dave would tell you, I mean, we dealt with for quite a while afterwards without any knowledge. We had no knowledge it was even going on. So that would be
how much of a voice do we actually have? I know, like when Consumers runs new gas lines or whatever they want to do underground, we really have very little to say about it.
That's why that's why our voice is large about saying we want to be part of your planning process. We want to, and if they've come to us, if they want us to help promote, if they want us to help really be involved in giving them the essentials that we think we can help them through the city, we're hopeful that they want to be that partner. They, at this point, sound like they want to be. I would tell you, the Cass Air initial build out or structure lay in 2009 looked more like there's federal money available. We're going to take the money. We're going to do this job without really any plan as to how this was going to work, because here we are 12 years later, just now starting to get to the point where possibly we're going to talk about fiber actually going in the ground.
They got the conduit.
There's
that
a lot
was
of
their
conduit.
job.
That's a pretty big map. Yeah.
Conduit.
That's fine for the night, unless there's any more questions. Thank you.
Questions for Matt? No one? Okay. Then we'll, all those in favor of receiving his report, be a thumbs up and an eye.
Aye.
And opposed, be a thumbs down. Looks like the motion is carried. Next up would be unfinished business. We've got discussion of the 2021 leadership team priorities. And Matt, are you leading this?
Yeah, I just felt that the other night, I know and I appreciate everyone's attention for 2.5 hours that we did that. And I wanted to make sure, because I felt like I kind of said, okay, we've been here 2.5 hours. Thank you very much. And we'll move on. I wanted to make sure that I haven't missed anything. I think that as we look at as we stated before, the 5 priorities that we laid, maybe getting a little bit on public record, because I'll bring back a resolution if we are comfortable, and I'll make some alterations to where we are with these 5 that are a little more, because some of these things we were able to accomplish, even during the last year and everything that we've gone through. But some of them we weren't able to get to at all and to really get started. You know, David talked to you about the lead and copper issues that are still there. I think as we talk about the parking lot refurbishment and that, I know one area that's been on Eric's radar big time that we may want to include in some of these things as we start to look at the tree plan downtown and how are we going to do that. And so I'd like to look at some of those. We've had a lot of the technology things occur here in the city that we were wanting to do. We've been able to, because of some of the grant money, make changes internally. And then just all of a sudden, since I talked to you the other day, we end up with, there are some community needs that we're going to be able to hopefully start to plan for and meet. And so I can alter a couple of these things in order to make sure they're what we're talking about and where our commitment levels are on some of these. So I'm just looking if there's something you feel is missing from here, or I know we had a discussion the other night that really we probably need to stay the course and make sure that these stay at the forefront of our minds, because I don't want to call last year a wash, but from a goal setting standpoint, it was a very difficult year to look at things that way.
Okay, there's questions for Matt. I'm sure we'll discuss more of these things in more depth as the year goes on.
And my intent would be to bring you a resolution at the next meeting that actually adopts these back in for 2021 with slight alterations. And you'll have those ahead of time if we want to talk about them.
I don't have a question. I just have a comment. I thought everybody did a really nice job. I did send an email 2 days later to Matt and the staff, so they already kind of know my feelings on it, but I thought everybody did a great job. It's not easy on Zoom to convey your message and to try to capture what you've done in an entire year during a pandemic. So I gave them a lot of credit for the presentations themselves. And then obviously the work that they've done too has just been amazing. So my feedback was great job. We didn't get a lot of time to interact because of the length of the meeting and it wasn't, in the evening. I look forward to hopefully being back in person for next year's, because I do like that interaction and the back and forth that we get to have with one another more so than, on the computer screen with Zoom. It's nice that we have it, but it's a different, definitely a different vibe, I guess, or so I look forward to that. But I thought everybody did a fantastic job. They were very interesting and just, I said this in my email, but the resiliency that was shown to be able to, have the whole world kind of shut down and maybe everyone hesitated for a minute and then said, what are we going to do? And you guys just picked the ball right up and kept going and did an excellent job to keep our city moving along as if nothing was happening. So appreciate that.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you. I'm sure we all share that. Anybody else have any comments?
Well said, Audra. Thanks for telling them that. That's a good job. It was great. And I appreciate Audra making the effort and letting everybody know that. So thanks.
Tape of that meeting is available on the website, is it not?
It will be. Yes. No, it is. Yeah. It's on our YouTube channel.
It's already out there, right?
It's on the YouTube channel.
Spread the word, right? Okay, anything else? I'm hearing nothing, so we'll move down to appropriations. Would anybody care to pay the bills tonight?
Move to pay the appropriations.
Support.
Support. Any comments, questions about any of the bills? Any of the amounts, the checks?
No, thank you to Matt and Kathy for answering my questions yesterday.
Were there questions you'd like to share?
Always glad
I just needed answers. I didn't know where the shed was going, and Miss Brett said that would be at the shop, so I wondered where that was going. And then I was wondering about the gas, but that got explained to me. So
I only spent $21. I'll say it. I'll say it if you want, Michelle. I only spent $21 in last month.
Well, I just thought that one bill, a couple bills were $21, and the other were in the thousands, and I was like, I just wondered what it was. So
one thing COVID's done is I don't travel very much. it's just a mile or so a day, it seems like. So
I allocate the fuel by department. So obviously DPW and police spend a lot more than Matt does.
Yeah.
other questions? Hearing none, all those in favor would be aye.
Aye.
Opposed would be a thumbs down, and an nay. Hearing none, the motion is passed. Commissioner comments. Let's do backwards. To Roxanne, let's go first.
Congratulations and thanks to Kathy for her willingness to spread her knowledge. And I guess I don't have anything else. Just take care and have a good week. If anybody knows anyone that wants to be a parapro at Loose Road, we have been down 2 or 3 people since the beginning of the year, and then we just keep turning over. So anyone knows anyone, send them our way. Thank you.
And by the way, the sculpture out on the street is fantastic. The snow sculpture. It's terrific. If you haven't been by Loose Road School, just drive by. That's all I need to say.
We were by the other day. That's pretty cool. Did Roxanne do that? No. All right. Michelle, would you care to be next? Oh, Matt's got a picture of it there for us.
Oh, wow. That looks awesome. I just want to say congratulations to Kathy. Bundle up if you go downtown this weekend. And again, just grab something from any of the merchants downtown or restaurant and support the locals.
Okay, thank you, Michelle.
That's all for me.
Oh, oops, sorry. Danny.
Congrats to Kathy, and I look forward to seeing everyone that's going to be there on the 13th. I know I'll be there. My wife and I will be there. We'll be bundled up and hopefully see everyone downtown.
They did promise cold right in the name of the event, so they're going to deliver, it sounds like. Audra.
It'll probably be the only time I'm happy to wear a mask, right? Keep warm. Congratulations to Kathy. That's pretty awesome. The only thing I wanted to add really quick, you guys, most of you know, we're in our new building now at Child Advocacy. We're not going to be doing an open house or a dedication probably until the summer, obviously because of COVID. So, but I do invite you, if you're a city employee or if you're a commissioner and you are interested in coming to have a tour. We've been just doing individual tours, of course, wearing a mask and using hand sanitizer and all of those good things. So, but just let me know, send me an email or give me a phone call. And if I'm not available, one of my staff is, and it's really, it's a fabulous space and we're really proud of it and excited to share it with the community, even if it's one person at a time. So we'd love to have you. Thank you.
Thank you, Audra. I've seen some of your pictures. It does look like a fantastic structure. I'm sure you're going to make great use of it. Nick.
Let's see. I'll add my congratulations to Kathy and Danny. I'll look for you downtown Saturday. We'll be back in town. And just a thing crossed my mind with all the cold weather would just encourage citizens to be careful with heating devices in your home. This is a time when there's often a lot of fires. So just stay warm, but also stay safe while you're doing it. So that's it.
Thank you, Nick. Roger. Roger?
There we go. Yep, got it. Yes, Kathy, terrific. Very, very proud of you. You always make the city look good. I just wanted to follow up on what I talked about a little bit last week in the community cafe thing. A small correction to the minutes. I don't think we need to actually change it. We said that Dave Pitts had stepped down. That hasn't happened. He took a couple month hiatus, which left me with a big hole in my cooking capabilities. I did reach out to, what's her name? Emma Selman from the Gratiot County Herald, who came and wrote a beautiful article. It's in this week's Herald front page and the entire back page, following up with what we have done, what I talked about. That has prompted additional reactions and donations from all over the city and actually all over the state. So I've gotten a lot of great play out of that. I thank everybody for their help and their guidance, and you and the city of Alma for reaching out. I have 2 more places that are going to step up to work for us, and then I think Dave is going to come back on March 11th. So Anyhow, that's it.
Sarah, did you have anything you'd like to share? Yes, you. No, I see you're shaking your head no, so. All right, thank you. Matt, anything additional?
No, I've said my piece. Just look forward to seeing everybody downtown Saturday night. I'm going to be moving tables and stuff, so I'd like to make sure that we've moved tables and done chairs and all that with a purpose, that somebody will sit in them. So.
Well, I'd like to add my thanks and appreciation to Kathy. We've got one of the state's leading assessor experts in our midst here, and we're very proud to have her on the team. So thank you, Kathy, for that. And everybody, like I said, stay safe. Have a good night. We'll open it up to the public. Are there any members of the public that would care to speak? Aaron, are you seeing anyone?
I do not see anyone attending besides commissioners and staff at this time.
Okay. Any of the staff like to speak? I don't see any indication there. So with that, we'll entertain a motion to adjourn our meeting for this evening.
Moved.
Support.
Motion support. All those in favor, thumbs up.
Aye.
All right. Thank you very much. Have a great evening. Look forward to seeing you this weekend.